What's up everybody, Poppin' John here. I'm gonna show you guys my 3 favorite different styles of robot. The first robot requires tons of tension, okay? This is where real mechanical movement comes in. It looks like machinery, okay? So I'm using tons of tension to get this effect out of my body. This robot is super tense, lots of tension, lots of flexing, okay? I'm resisting and I'm pushing through to the next position, okay? So I'm using tension with every part of this move, okay? Every time I'm moving or stopping, I'm tensing, okay? There's lots of tension going on, all right? So boom, full tension, right? Bam, I got my arms flexed, my core flexed, my neck flexed, my legs, okay? I have a little wobble in my body. I call this mannequin in the wind. And then I'm gonna be using some pivots. Okay, I'm using tons of tension here. Okay, and from what I understand, Mad Chad coined this phrase, mechanical movement, okay? So tons of tension going on. I'm using tension within the move itself. So as I'm moving, I'm using tension. Boom. Okay, I'm using tension in my legs, in my core, my neck, my arms. Okay, I really love this style of robot. It feels powerful. It's almost feeling like the Terminator, okay? So my second favorite is, the concept is like the arms of these different machines that pick up like different computer pieces, like an assembly line, okay? So the cool thing about these robots is there is tension involved, but it's more precise movement. Okay, so this super tense robot, it's almost like big moves, kind of clunky and bulky, right? The movement's really hard and heavy. This second robot is more advanced in my opinion, okay? So it has all of these extra little adjustments that happen, okay? I kind of think in like squiggly lines, right? Or nice like stairs that go down, okay? So I'm showing these really nice moves and it's more precise than this really tense robot, okay? So one of the inspirations to this is Robert Shields, okay? So I watched Robert Shields do this performance and he's moving his arm and always like making these little mini adjustments, okay? And that inspired me to really try to dive into that subject of these miniature movements, okay? So this is what this looks like. This opens up the ability to do like everyday human movements, okay? So like if I wanted to put my hand in my pocket, for an example, with this really, the first robot would be really tough to like make it precise enough to get my hand in my pocket. But with these little adjustments, I can put my hand in my pocket, I can grab my shirt, I can take off my sunglasses. Okay, so I'm using all these little miniature moves. See how I'm doing like squiggly lines and then nice little stair ideas, little boxes, right angles. So this requires a little less tension than the first one, but it makes more precision movements, okay? So I kind of almost understand it like a heat-seeking missile. Okay, a missile doesn't go in a straight line. It like is always auto-correcting itself, okay? So it has all these little like corrections as it's going towards its target. Okay, so I kind of think about that when I'm moving my hand to grab my other hand, for an example. Okay, I'm finding the exactly right spot and then I can grab. So I really like that concept. Okay, the third robot. All right, this is called Animatronics. Okay, Animatronics is a robot trying to look like a human. Okay, so I got this from Robert Shields. It's opening up the idea of, okay, I'm a robot. I'm an actual robot, but I'm trying to look human. Okay, so like the animatronic like robots at Disneyland, okay? Like the presidents, they stand up and they have like more of an eerie movement. It's not like all this straight movement, you know, like old school robots, okay? So it's a robot trying to look human, okay? There's tension involved, but there's different movement, okay? So I'm kind of thinking about hydraulics, okay? So all of my joints, they're all kind of like getting pushed with air, okay? So there's movements like this. All right, that looks different than the first robot. It looks different than the second robot, the more advanced computer chip arm, all right? So these are my 3 favorites. We have 2 weeks until the Movement Blueprint Season 4 starts. I'm gonna be doing a super deep dive into robot, all right? All of the different techniques that is required in order to get some of these illusions, and then where those techniques can go, okay? So I use robot techniques in almost every aspect of my dance, and it adds tons of awesome contrast and a lot of control, okay? So remember, September 29th, the Movement Blueprint Season 4 is starting. Guys, spots are filling up. We only have 5 spots left, and if you've been waiting to pull the trigger on this, now is your chance. All right, my link is in the bio or in the description. See you guys there. Peace.